Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Superwoman on our new digital TV channel F15. My name is Heidi Eichinger, and here I'm talking to experienced leaders, founders, and executives who share lessons learned to increase diversity in their companies in order to be more productive, more efficient, and hopefully more happy. Today, it's my very great pleasure to introduce you to Amel Derragui. She's founder and CEO of Tandem Nomads. Happy to see you again, Amel. By the way, for all those who like Forbes, Amel has been once on our cover. She's been our cover girl once. And it's super to see you happy and safe in New York. How is it at the time?
Thank you so much, Heidi. It's such a pleasure to reconnect with you and share today these insights. Things are overall good in New York compared to where we were. We were the epicenter in the world. And compared to that, honestly, I'm really proud of New Yorkers, how they showed up and how they handled this in a couple of months. I feel very safe in New York. So people are really following this rules and cautious, and the numbers are really down and pretty stable. So, and New York also got a big advantage of this COVID during the summers to have all these outdoor dinings that we didn't have so much of before. So we got to enjoy that as well.
Good to hear. Amel, for those who don't know you yet, it would be good if you could explain what Tandem Nomads is about. I mean, when did you found your company and why?
Oh, so I will try to make this a very short story, but it started basically 10 years ago. When you think about it, I had a career in advertising, and I met my husband I used to live in France. He was in Iran. And once I met him, I knew that if I accept to marry him, I'll have to quit my job and my career to be able to move with him across countries for his job. So I started immediately my business because I knew I would not be able to continue living on the move and continue my career. So I've been a consultant in marketing all those years. But down the road, I saw a lot of women in my case who gave up their careers. A lot of them were expat women, but as we know, it's a situation very common, even if you don't travel the world, that women in general have to give up their careers to support the family. And this is something, especially in the world of expatriation, that was really daunting, because when you leave your country, you leave your social security, you leave all of that, it really puts you in a very vulnerable situation when you don't have a career and financial independence. So that was something that really triggered me. So 6 years down the road, I started a podcast show to talk about this just on the side of my business. I needed an outlet to discuss that it is possible we don't have to give up our careers, and that it is possible to continue our careers thanks to entrepreneurship and thanks to something that I had discovered along the way, which I call the portable business. That's for me the best way to turn our career challenges into opportunities and have the flexibility of life to be able to work from home, especially now, or to continue our careers on the move.
So we'll come back to the home office later on. But what is this portable business all about? I mean, what is in this portable business, in this suitcase you call?
Yeah. So portable business, basically, I'm gonna give you some key tips here, because a lot of people think that a portable business is an online business. So portable business is an online business, but an online business is not necessarily a portable business. So the reason why I started this podcast and then that became a business down the road was because the problem of the usual careers of women, and especially expat women, was to quit your job, start again, quit your job, start again. And at the end, you don't have that progression that most people who work in a stable career have. And starting a business and giving it up, is also can lead to that as well when you live on the move. So the point of a portable business is to generate a consistent growth and revenue over time. Even if, for example, you have to move from a country to another, how do you make sure that your revenue does not get interrupted while you're in transition? Or when you work from home, that you have a source of revenue that allows you the flexibility to work with your own hours and not have to depend on the location where you are. So, and bring that sustainability on the long term. So for that, I have a rule that I call the 60-40 rule that I teach my clients and guide them through it, which is basically, we need to make sure that at least 60% of our revenue comes from a source that's not location dependent, at least.
Can,
And
can you give us an example so that we can like more visualize it?
that's a very good question. Actually, that leads to another thing I would say. A portable skill is not necessarily a portable business. And to lead to the example is, for example, if you're a yoga teacher, you can teach yoga anywhere in the world, right? There's people who
Yes.
want to learn anywhere, but that doesn't make it, it's a portable skill, but it's not a portable business, because when you move from a country to another, you're going to have to recreate your network, your client base, etc. So if you're a yoga teacher, what you need to do is to create a set of digital offers online so that you can have a portion of your revenue that consistently comes in while you're in transition. For example, you can have online courses, you can have live courses, you can have special apps. You can also create what we call affiliate marketing revenues, where you partner with people that you promote their products that are complementary to yours, for example, essential oils. So you can create and diversify your sources of revenues in a digital way that allows you to create sustainability in your revenue and your growth. I hope that was a good example. I don't know if that was clear.
Yeah, it's clear. And it also makes somehow clear that COVID and the lockdown put a new perspective on your business, right?
I had to work so hard to convince people that it was possible to do any business online. And I had two kind of objections before COVID that always came to me. The first one is, you can't do every business online. I'm like, you can. I have a client who's a horseback riding trainer, and she managed to make her business portable. Like, how do you do that? She actually, so I do believe that it's possible to create, with that 60-40 rule, you can find ways to make your business, or at least a portion of your revenue, portable. But the second thing, a lot of people will tell me as well, but I don't think it's possible to create that connection with your clients online. I'm like, oh yeah, you can. And I know that I have so many clients and friends that I actually never met in person. And there are ways to create that connection, even through the screen. I truly believe in that. And now I realize that it's possible. One of the biggest barriers for a lot of people to succeed in creating a portable business was to convince their clients that they can provide that service online. For example, I'm sure that nobody would have ever thought of taking yoga classes online. But now we get
Take
used to
any
it.
class online, right?
It took 2 months to shift that mindset, which is amazing.
Yeah, that was quite fast. That's true.
Yeah.
But did your client base increase? I mean, do you have more customers now? People who want to know how to do it?
Yeah, and what's interesting is also how it has like broadened in a way, because my niche, and that's actually something that I recommend to everybody, when you start a business, you need to focus on a small niche. A lot of people try to, when they start to target everybody, and that's the most dangerous thing you can do, because as the expression says, if you try to resonate with everybody, you will resonate with nobody. So my niche was really the expat spouses who needed to find a way to create revenue on the move. So expat spouses, I said, are those who like are married to people who their jobs take them from country to another. But that niche has expanded, because now suddenly I have interest from people who are not necessarily expats or even nomads, but need a source of revenue that is more flexible. And now with homeschooling and all these challenges, and the fact that people are also losing their jobs. I have clients who did not necessarily lose their jobs, but they're realizing that they need a backup plan just in case. They're starting to build their businesses on the side.
Yeah. So your rule, this 60-40 rule, works for everybody now, right?
Yeah.
That's good too.
Amazing.
But
Yeah.
what makes the difference between those companies who will survive the crisis, in your point of view, and those who won't?
Oh, I'm passionate about this, so please, if I go too far, stop
No,
me, Heidi.
don't worry, we have time, we have time.
But that is a topic, and I was very grateful during COVID. So I can share before I tell you the answer to that. During the COVID, I freaked out myself, to be honest with you, because the first week of COVID, all my clients were canceling, our work together, pausing them or canceling or postponing the contracts in the first weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then I needed to start making them realize that if they do that, they are putting their business in jeopardy. So what happens in crisis, a lot of people, when there's a crisis, the first reaction is, whoa, let's stop here and pause and wait. And that's exactly the opposite of what you need to do during a crisis. During a crisis is the time where you have to show up even more than before. And where the goal, of course, is money and save the company financially. But there is one big capital that we should never forget in a business, which is your client base and your audience.
Mm-hmm.
And during a crisis, you need to super serve your client base and your audience, and even people who are not your clients, because that's the best way to rise during a crisis, to show up as a leader, and to turn these challenges into opportunities to actually have even more exposure,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to really show the values of your company, so that you can also grow the trust factor, that people trust you. And this is something that is a commodity that's not a commodity in a way, actually, that's so valuable, and that's what saves businesses for the long run. So my first tip here of the difference where you succeed versus fail, you will see it. All the companies during the crisis that showed up to help, to serve. For example, I have my mobile company that did something very interesting. I honestly was looking at canceling my contract with them because I was just interested by other offers. And during COVID, they did something. The CEO sent an email to all the subscribers saying, this is a hard time. So if by any chance you have a problem paying your bills, please let us know. We will find a way to help you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Instead of pushing people to pay their bills as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this keeps clients. So clients' retention during a crisis is very important. Another thing that I've done during the crisis, my audience is 90% female based, and most of them are mothers. And this has been a big toll on mothers, this crisis with the homeschooling.
Yeah, right.
So what I've done was to bring all the experts, all my clients who have some expertise to help with self-care, schooling, like all the things that they were struggling with, to build a platform to bring them resources to deal with that. I did not charge for that. It was a way to super serve during a time of crisis, so that when it's the right time to do business, we already built that relationship and that trust.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that's the first step. The second thing, let's not forget that a crisis is also an amazing way to create new opportunities. In Chinese, the Mandarin signs, the word crisis is two symbols. The first one is danger, and the second one is opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how you need to look at crisis. So the next step, once you super serve your client base, and even those who are not your clients, ask yourself, where are the opportunities to rise during the crisis? How can you pivot in your business to create either new products or do your job differently?
Mm-hmm.
I have an example of wedding planners.
Mm-hmm.
So wedding planners have been suffering so much from the crisis because all the weddings were canceled. And there were some interesting wedding planners who started doing like helping their clients how to deal with the cancellations, how to help with, like not losing money with all the cancellations, but also telling to their people, listen, you might not be able to get married now, but this is perfect because now you have more time to plan the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, after COVID, it's no more stress. You have all the time in the world. So you see how it's just a mindset shift. going from a challenge to say, hey, this is actually an opportunity to do things better, and maybe there's some more needs now.
Mm.
So, um, so think about what are the things where you can pivot in your business to either change a little bit your services, or what new needs do you see in the market that you have the the competences for. You know that there's a lot of companies that actually today are very famous, like Airbnb or Slack, who were actually started during the financial crisis of 2008. Do you know that?
Mm.
They started during that time.
Mm.
And Slack, for example, was actually a company that was a gaming company. You know, Slack is an app that helps a lot of companies communicate with their employees and their teams. And they were a gaming company, and during the crisis they realized that their technology could be turned into this app. The gaming business was done and off, but now Slack is one of the most famous startups, and more than startup now, company that has been very successful. So thinking about how is definitely something, and turning challenges into opportunities
Mm.
is photos in this.
So, Amel, now that your client base has increased, I mean, how about your business? I know that you're a first mover also when it comes to like more virtual teams, digital teams, and digital leadership. How about that?
So what happened with this year, what was interesting was that for me now it's about, you know, how to scale, because I'm a one woman show in a way, and for me it was very important to keep that flexibility to be a one person business but still scale. And I do have a team, and the great thing now is that you can have a virtual team that you can work with even if they're not in your payroll, and that's amazing.
Mm.
So for me, the biggest, most interesting thing that happened in my business was, first of all, like I said, to expand the niche, but also to start doing things that are more scalable. And I've been doing a lot of one-on-one work with my clients, but during the COVID, I started a beta program, the Tandem Nomads Academy, to be able to serve more people. It's basically an online course that shows from A to Z all the steps to build a portable business. So this is now in beta mode, and we I'm really excited because those who are in the beta mode, some of them are already having their first clients out of it. So it's not even finished yet. So I'm really excited about that.
When will it start officially?
Oh my God, what's the exact date? It started a month and a half ago.
Oh,
We're
it
in October, yeah.
started already.
So yeah, so I started the production during crisis, and then I launched it, you know, like a month and a half ago, because I was like, okay, now I need to have something where I can scale. And talking about digital products, that's an amazing way to scale.
Mm. Mhm.
But I'm really excited about, and super grateful for the people who are part of this program. Um, it's really something so special um, to see people like really see the potential of what they can achieve. And for me, that is more than just about teaching marketing and business strategies. It's more about transforming people's lives, to be honest with you. And
Mhm.
that makes me really happy. So once the beta program will be over, I have about 20 to 30 people right now. And when because there's different levels. You have the level where you only get the course, and there's the level where you get also like you can upgrade with different versions. But once this done, I'll then be officially able to launch it, because I wanted to, you know, to check all my theories and test all the different
Mhm.
methodologies that I'm having to help them with it
That's
in the
good to
digital
hear.
world.
So it's been a very productive time for you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What do you expect for fall? I mean, do you think that the situation will go back to like a lockdown situation? How, I mean, because you're in contact with so many people, so you're able to like see trends probably a little bit before we do.
Mm. Ah, you know, it's going to be interesting. I really don't know if there's going to be a lockdown. I think it would be difficult to have a lockdown, but the way we're living in New York is already, I know that there's a difference with Austria, for example, but here everybody wears a mask since a long time everywhere.
Mhm.
And outdoor dining is still in effect. I just don't know how it's going to go when temperature will cool down. So
Yeah.
the official rule is that it's only 25% capacity for now in the indoor dining, for example. Teams are all remote. You have companies who have decided to not open into 21. Broadway will not open until fall 21. So we are going to be in slowed down mode for a long time. So it can seem scary.
It's kind of unusual for New York. I
Yeah.
mean, such a fast and always moving city, right?
Yeah, the city that never sleeps. Now
Mm.
by 10 p.m., the streets are pretty empty, to be honest. But and you know, a lot of people have left the city. Like 500,000 people, the latest numbers have
Mhm.
left the city, and it's mostly people who have the revenue to live to and have the a secondary home, or those who left. So that's a problem for taxation for the city that's losing a lot of taxes. Um, but I can see some other. There are going to be some good things that will come out of this. Hope the rents are going down, which is amazing.
Mhm.
A lot of people who could not afford a two-bedroom now can afford it. So a lot of people are actually moving every Saturday and Fridays. The streets are full of trucks of
Oh,
people who are
really?
leaving and others who are moving to bigger apartments because now
Uh-huh.
they can afford a better rent, a bigger
Yeah,
apartment
bigger apartment.
for the
Mhm.
same rent. So um, we talk about like, are things going to go back? I don't think we will ever go back to what it was, and I don't think we should.
Mm.
There's something that this crisis is trying to tell us, is that it was time for a change. It was time to change the way we live. It was time to change the way we work. It was the time to change the way we connect with people. And I think instead of trying to go back to where we were, we should really try to reflect, what can we do to actually learn from this experience and change things for the better. Um,
Mm.
in every crisis, I think there is room for us to improve things for the long run. So I just hope, and I do feel in New York that people are asking themselves those questions, the essential questions of, who do I want to hang out with? Who do I want to spend quality time with? The quantity of people you can meet in New York is amazing. But sometimes, for me, it was sometimes a bit overwhelming because you meet so many people and it's hard to keep up with those relationships.
Mm.
Now it really boils down to quality. And that's also a good thing.
Mm. So we don't worry about you and we don't have to. That's a good thing to hear. But
I'm very
nonetheless, we
lucky to
would
be in
be
it.
more than happy to see you like again in person in Austria
Thank you so much.
sometime,
I would love
or
that.
we can go back to New York sometime and meet. Thank you very much, Amel, for your time, the
It was my
insights. We're happy that your business is doing well. And thank you to our viewers. Thank you for catching up. And if you don't want to miss out any of our broadcasts, just press the subscribe button, like I say it every time. So, Amel, take care, stay healthy and safe, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much, and goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.